I wanted to bounce off of this and talk a bit more about the fan-idol relationship and, that parasocial fan relationship. So even if a company does not explicitly say that they have a dating ban, you'll notice that a lot of these idols still do not publicly date due to how poorly some fans will react. And unless the idol says so themselves, we usually have to assume that there is some sort of dating ban in place. Oftentimes, we don't learn the details of a contract until an idol has left the company. I'll be lumping J-pop and K-pop together because they have very similar structures of how their contracts are, as well as the parasocial fan-to-idol relationship. There's also just more examples in K-pop, as more K-pop idols has been more transparent about their previous contracts. But there have been many K-pop idols that have come forward and said that they did have a dating ban. The most common one in K-pop is the 3-year dating ban, which means the idol debuts in the first 3 years of their debut that they are not allowed to date, as the first 3 years for a K-pop idol are the most formative years. In those 3 years, they are allowed to date. However, you will still see that a lot of idols don't publicly date. And I think that's the thing that we need to focus on is the public dating. They're allowed to date, but they usually don't publicly date, most oftentimes due to the backlash. There are also idols that have come forward and said that they've never had a dating ban, such as BM. He's talked about how his company encouraged him to go clubbing and encouraged him to date so that he can get inspiration, so he could write songs, etc. But then you have idols like Grace, who has in detail talked about how her company would not allow her to date, would go through the trainees' phones. They weren't even allowed to talk to men that they were related to. And it's just an insane amount of control that idol companies have over their artists. You've seen fandoms go to war over idols. Like if an idol dates another idol publicly, those fan bases will start beefing. They'll be like, your idol's not good enough for our idol. We've seen that before. We've also seen fans who have completely turned their back on an idol who's been in a public dating scandal. They'll shut down their fan site and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to support you anymore, which we've seen with Dawn. Isn't even just an idol fan problem. It is also a media problem, and the media play that goes into the glorification and harassment of these couples. Like Yuzuru Hanyu, world-renowned Olympian, announced that he was getting married late last year, and just a couple months after it, he had announced that he was ending his marriage due to the fact that his non-celebrity wife was getting harassed by media. Like, she couldn't go outside, their families were being harassed, and for her sake, he has decided to end their marriage. And that just breaks my heart. And he's not even an idol. Occasionally, on a more positive note, there are some times in J-pop and K-pop spaces where an idol announces their marriage. Just announces it. No one knew that they were dating, or if they were dating very quietly, and they'll make the announcement telling their fans, I would like to let you all know that I've gotten married. And sometimes it's really well received, especially if the idol has had a very long career. And I guess when they've had a really long career, sometimes their fan base is just a bit older. Their fan base may be married as well. Their fan base have watched them into their teens, well into their adulthood, and by then they're like, oh, we're so happy for you, congratulations. We see it rarely, but we do see it occasionally.